Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a shocking and deeply concerning story that has NATO on high alert. Reports have surfaced that Russian military aircraft are once again testing NATO's air defenses, this time over the skies near Belgium. What's happening above Europe's heartland is not just routine airspace intrusion, it's part of something far more calculated and sinister. In recent weeks, several unidentified aircraft were detected flying close to Belgian and Dutch airspace. At first, radar operators assumed they were civilian planes, but when communication attempts failed, NATO jets scrambled to intercept, and what they saw left officials stunned. These were Russian military aircraft, flying without transponders, no flight plans, and no communication, a deliberate move that puts commercial airliners at risk and sends a chilling message to NATO. Such incidents are not new, but what's alarming is the pattern. Intelligence sources believe Russia is probing NATO's air defense systems, testing how fast they respond, what routes they take, and how coordination between member states unfolds. It's a form of psychological warfare, meant to keep Europe nervous and constantly on alert. Belgium, though small, hosts crucial NATO command centers. That makes its airspace symbolically important and strategically sensitive. What's even more troubling is that these flights often involve advanced Russian aircraft, including the Tu-95 Bear bombers and Su-27 fighters, the same types used during Cold War-era intimidation missions. They fly just outside NATO's official borders, skirting the edge of legality, while daring NATO to react. The purpose is clear: show the world that Moscow can reach anywhere, even the skies above Western Europe. For NATO, this creates a constant balancing act. Respond too aggressively and risk escalation. Respond too weakly and signal vulnerability. Belgian and Dutch F-16s, often supported by British or German aircraft, have been scrambling more frequently than ever before. Each mission costs millions, drains resources, and adds to pilot fatigue. But not responding isn't an option, because any unknown aircraft could be carrying surveillance equipment or worse. Behind the scenes, intelligence analysts are piecing together data from radar stations, satellites, and NATO's AWACS aircraft. They're trying to determine whether these flights are just routine harassment or part of a broader Russian strategy to disrupt Western unity. The timing, some say, is no coincidence. With NATO nations deeply involved in supporting Ukraine, Moscow is likely testing their ability to defend their own skies while maintaining aid to Kiev. The psychological aspect cannot be overstated. These provocations serve to remind NATO citizens that Russia remains unpredictable and capable. It's about creating fear and uncertainty not only among governments but among ordinary people. If European skies can be violated so easily, what else could Russia do? The Belgian government has issued strong condemnations, calling these flights unacceptable and dangerous. But diplomacy alone is not enough. NATO is now enhancing radar coverage across Northern Europe, upgrading detection systems, and coordinating faster scramble protocols. Every allied nation is aware that the margin for error is shrinking. One miscalculation, one accidental interception, could spiral into an international crisis. Meanwhile, the Russian government continues to deny any wrongdoing. Official statements claim the flights are routine patrols in international airspace. Yet, the behavior of these aircraft tells a different story. Turning off transponders, flying at low altitudes, and cutting across commercial flight paths are not normal patrol patterns. These are intimidation tactics, plain and simple. Experts say this new wave of airspace provocations might be a signal from Moscow that it will not be contained by NATO's deterrence measures. It's about reclaiming psychological dominance in the European theater. Russia knows that Western nations are sensitive to even minor violations because they expose the fragility of security and coordination in a region that has enjoyed decades of relative peace. For Belgium, this is especially unnerving. The country may be small, but it's home to shape the supreme headquarters Allied powers Europe NATO's Central Military Command. Any disturbance over Belgian skies is therefore symbolic of a direct challenge to NATO itself. Analysts say Russia knows exactly what it's doing. Choosing Belgium isn't random. It's a message that even NATO's core is not beyond reach. NATO officials, while avoiding public panic, are quietly reviewing contingency plans. There are discussions about whether stricter no-fly protocols should be enforced, or whether certain Russian aircraft should be shadowed longer once intercepted. This requires coordination between multiple countries and fast decisions that must be both defensive and non-provocative. It's a high-stakes game of chess in the sky. These incidents are also straining diplomatic ties further. European leaders are urging Russia to respect international aviation laws, but Moscow seems uninterested. The Kremlin's strategy thrives on chaos, and by keeping NATO guessing, it keeps pressure on the alliance's unity. Each new flight forces European nations to coordinate, react, and justify constantly playing defense, while Russia controls the tempo. Some military experts believe this could also be a test for future hybrid warfare. Imagine combining such airspace intrusions with cyber attacks on air traffic systems or misinformation campaigns online. Suddenly, panic spreads, communication breaks down, and trust in NATO's capabilities weakens. That's the ultimate goal, not necessarily to start a war, but to make Europe doubt its ability to prevent one. The response from NATO has been measured but firm. Allied aircraft continue to intercept Russian planes, escorting them out of sensitive zones. But each new confrontation raises the risk of miscalculation. What if a Russian jet makes a sudden maneuver? What if a missile system locks on accidentally? The margin between deterrence and disaster is frighteningly thin. Citizens across Europe are growing uneasy. Social media clips showing NATO jets racing through the skies have gone viral, sparking debates about whether Europe is sliding closer to direct conflict. While officials insist that NATO remains in full control, the frequency of these encounters paints a different picture, one of rising tension, fragile stability, and an unpredictable future. In essence, Russia's actions over Belgium's skies are not about airspace alone, they're about power, perception, and pressure. Every time a Russian aircraft crosses the invisible line, it sends a political message to both NATO and the world. A reminder that Moscow can still provoke fear and uncertainty without firing a single shot. As NATO strengthens its vigilance and updates its air defense posture, one thing is clear: Europe is entering a new phase of tension, one where the Cold War's invisible lines are being redrawn in real time. The skies above Belgium may soon become the front line in a silent, high-tech contest for dominance and deterrence. And while most people go about their daily lives unaware of what's flying overhead, the reality is that every radar ping, every interception, and every coded signal could be shaping the future of European security. The next time you look up at a passing jet, remember, above those clouds, a silent battle for control of the skies is already underway. If you found this breakdown informative, make sure to like the video, share it with others, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the stories shaping our world today.